If you've seen the headlines, you might wonder, why are young people in India protesting? The answer is surprisingly simple: they're fed up. The country's youth, some 40% of the global population, were taught that Narendra Modi's government had turned India into a boom machine. But today, thousands of students, recent graduates, and young workers across the country are taking to Delhi streets to demand accountability. The spark that lit these protests was the cancellation of the October 2024 entry exam for medical schools. Within the government's testing agency, a question paper was leaked, and the same wording appeared on so-called guest papers that students shared online. The National Testing Agency, set up by the Modi administration in 2017 to centralize exams, scrapped the exam, and everyone had to retake it. The fallout was immediate. More than 2.2 million aspirants were caught in the shuffle, and the sense of uncertainty was palpable. But the exam was just the tip of the iceberg. The real issue is the education system itself. Because India's curriculum is heavily exam-centric, students spend years grinding for competitive tests, sacrificing personal interests and passions. Yet the job market has struggled to keep pace. India's National Crime Records Bureau reported that more than 14,400 students took their own lives in 2024 alone, an alarming number that's rising faster than the national suicide rate. These statistics expose a stark reality: the promise of upward mobility through higher education is fading. My ears told me there's more to the story. I spoke with a student who grew up in a small town, who dreamed of becoming a doctor. He said, "I studied hard, I saved all my money, and then I learned the exam was cancelled. My future felt uncertain." He's not alone. Many young Indians are worried about unemployment. In a country where more than 65% of the workforce is under 32 years old, the argument that jobs will simply appear because the economy is growing feels like a myth. For a party that has ruled India for more than a decade, this challenge is no small thing. Modi's BJP remains popular among older voters, but the 25-plus age group constitutes a huge voting bloc. Ignoring their demands might cost the party a fighting pulse in the next general election, especially as contestants are learning to hear these voices louder than ever. In contrast to the violent uprisings that shook Bangladesh and Nepal over the same issues, where protests erupted into bloodshed and toppled governments, the Indian youth have taken a calm, organized approach. They camped out on the lawns of parliament, held banners, and drafted clear demands: reform the education system to prioritize skills over rote testing, create more job opportunities, and ensure transparency in government decisions. So far, the government has not made any concessions. The talks have not progressed beyond polite meetings. I remember a jubilant protester at round-the-clock rallies saying, "We're not fighting for a new leader, we're fighting for a future where a degree does not feel like a ticket to a dead end." He was right. In a diverse country composed of 28 states and jobs in 12 different languages, a unified movement that challenges ordinary people to question the status quo is not easy. Yet the momentum here is palpable. Young protesters are forming alliances across the country, and their stories are spreading beyond Delhi. What starts as a complaint about exam fairness may, one day, translate into comprehensive policy reforms. As we've seen, protests can be either a last resort or a decisive moment in a nation's history. The youth in India may be signaling the dawn of a new political era, where voices are taken seriously. Keep your eyes on the coming weeks. If the opposition can use the voices of their young supporters, it could shift the political equations in ways no one now knows. And that's the story. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, keep listening.